G'day everyone, how you going? It's Martin Lynch again. Hopefully you're all well and you got something out of that last video. This time I've decided not to read off paper. So what I've done is I've just come home. I'd like to let you know that I've just become a father on Sunday. Today's Wednesday. Proud as punch. If I can't save the world, then hopefully she can. She'll be a little angel, and obviously, like, each generation gets smarter, so hope to be a good parent and lead by example. So the questions, and I haven't thought of these questions, I just wrote out some questions and I'm just gonna just roll with it and see what I can think of. It's about being genuine, real, and not reading off paper. Okay, number one is what to focus on. 2, when is too much too much? 3, why is writing good for you? 4, how should you perceive ETs? Are they good? Are they bad? Why the media needs to change before we do? Well, it would help, but us few can break through. What should secret projects focus on? What should US, Russia and China do? Who's going to take all the glory by leading first, getting in early, i.e. big corps, big business? How feeding, clothing the poor can help big business and also help us, and it should be the right thing to do. Will religion step up and write a modern new chapter? Will the Pope disclose ETs and UFOs? And how that could strengthen them, plus change the world. What I think of Australia, what I think of the US, what I think of Russia, and China. Main ones I'm focusing on. And then, if I could give, in my own words of wisdom, to the elite, the secret projects, the oil companies, the energy companies, what would it be? So let's see what I can think about this. What to focus on? Well, you should really focus on yourself. I spent 4 years just getting into all these topics like conspiracies, UFOs, aliens, spent like 12 hours a day. My partner doesn't like me spending any time in this area because I kind of killed it for her by getting into so much. Sometimes you need to spend a lot of time, it's like a job, but you do deserve a holiday. For me, I feel that I'm working on these big things and how we can come together, and I've shared it with the extraterrestrials and had them light up the sky and had UFOs pop out. And I just thought, how can I help them by us changing? How can I help big business? Then I was like, well, you know, my birthday is on the 5th of July, so when I'm celebrating it in Australia, it's like Independence Day in America. And there's all these coincidences, like, have come into my life that, you know, it was like, because I've been into ETs for such a long time that, and Marty Back to the Future. I'm Martin, but I thought Marty now, because it was the 3rd of July 1985, and my birthday is the 5th of July 1985. So these coincidences will happen in your life, and for me it's just to show that I can make a difference and I can go on. So far, us people on Earth and projects have shot ETs down that are harmless, just to back engineer the technology. So far, nothing has happened to these people. So they're pretty patient and they do want us to change. So what to focus on? For the people that are out of work or looking for work, I would focus on trying to get yourself into the workforce. Do some reading, focus on spirituality and look at the laws of attraction. What you think about, you become, and draws it to you. So focus on yourself, focus on what you need to do to have a sustainable future. Do what you need to do to be happy. Make sure your partner's happy. Number one, your partner has to be happy. and then your family can come next, and then your friends. For me, now I'm going to have to take a step back, and that's why I've made this channel, because I want to make a difference by showing people, like, just pointing people in the right direction, making them think. So this channel for me is something I'm going to do once a month, and I'm not going to spend that much time on the internet. Number one is my child. So if you've got a child, they come number one. When is too much too much? Well, too much is when your partner starts cracking the shits because you're spending too much time on it. That can be if you're working on certain projects or big things that you need time to yourself and you need time away. And that's when you think best yourself. When you're stressed and you're under the pump working long hours and you're getting briefed every day on certain things that are going on that can stress you out. So too much is when you get to a point that you may have, you know what you need to do, but to actually, I'm a good person that I'm good at saying, do what I say, not as I do. So you've got to, once you get a certain amount of information and enlightenment, then it's to take time away and do writing. So too much is when it affects you, when you've already got the goal, so to say, like you've already got what you need to do, but focusing on more and more and more is not good. So for people into conspiracies, instead of putting all of these conspiracies up on the internet and mouthing off, maybe go for a long walk somewhere along a track and take a paper and just do it to clear your thoughts. Do some writing, like all the questions that I've written down, and write your own responses to. Whenever you go blank or don't know what to write, just listen to the crickets, just listen to the wind, just tune into nature. So too much is when you should back off and focus on you and what you need to do. Why is writing good for you? Well, writing for me was really good because I've never been a big writer. I've always been one of these people that can go out after a few drinks and be talking to... See, I never used to go out to pick up. I used to go out just to talk to people about philosophy and life, and people would say, how do you know this? It's like, oh, I don't know, I just came up with it. So, but you always forget that. Like, if you realise all the things that you've thought of, that you just forget about. So writing is good because, for one, you put it down on paper. When you read it, you learn something or remember it. You already knew it, but you remember it. It can be good things like goals, and it can use your imagination, and it's something you can always come back to. So never throw it out. You might think it's stupid, but use it for reference later on down the track. Like I was scared of getting older, but like Dr. Wayne Dyer changed my mind. Before he died, he was like 70 something. I was like, wow, I can't wait to see what I know then, and what wisdom and what I can, for every year I try to better myself and to try and do better, like work something out about myself, get rid of my insecurities, become more comfortable. And a lot of people didn't become friends with me because when I had an episode, when I had a mental breakdown, that I had a psychosis, and I lost a lot of people from what I got into. And let's just say that not everyone's nice, not everyone is understanding, and sometimes you've only got to push someone over the edge a little bit. But they're the people that you got to know you don't want to hang around with. Be around quality people that are going to be there, and it's like... So writing is good because you remember what you thought. It goes into a part of your mind that you start activating. Like, I suppose, like, if you go talk to someone who's really interesting and you're semi-similar, you can keep on talking for hours, and that's great. So I just recommend writing and to remember about stuff about yourself. Okay, how should we perceive ETs? Are they good or are they bad? Well, it's just like anything really, that in the world there's good and bad, but that's not how you just look at it. Races that are a billion years more older than us, or even older, because there might be in other universes, just think For the people out there that are intelligent and are smart and have done their own education and self-educate and have a good heart, and then you think about, like, what would you do if you were in charge of the perfect world, like the perfect of everything? And just imagine these people that have had a good education. They don't have the news that are always showing bad, because there is no real bad stuff happening. Are there bad ETs? Probably there's bad ETs. But they're not going to have jurisdiction to come down here and do whatever they want. Because if you put me in charge of the whole universe, I tell you what, it wouldn't be as fucked up as it is here. There'd be order. People would have to have jurisdiction and have to have a certain element of them and quality and essence to be able to go and do what they want. So there is order. Don't focus on the bad stuff, that's propaganda. But don't feel bad for the people that made it. You can change. The perfect time to change is now. So ETs are good. Some of them, I've been told, are telepathic. So they're entity within themselves and who they are telepathic. Some have got technology within their spaceships and within their power that they streams from them to us, so they are telepathic. So they know our consciousness. So for all the people in deep bases writing out notes on paper so they can't, like, working out a strategy how to, like, there's no point. Like, they know everything. When I make contact, I'm showing love. I'm putting it out there that I want to work everything out, and I want, because the human race is being looked at and everyone knows this as being a joke, that I want to change that around so rapidly. Because I said there's other races out there that don't get on with other ones so much. And basically, if you think that the energy of what they think of us flowing through the universe as a resonance, that if we can change their perception of what they think of us, then that is just awesome. We want them to educate us. We would love them to make us more spiritually awakened. We would like to have them as friends. We would like someone to be able to talk to and say, what do you think of this? And we want to be sustainable. And I said that we will never rule. We don't want to know the bad things that might have happened to us in the past, like we were seen as being as cattle, even though the mutilations is projects. So think of the good, not the bad, because if you think of your mind as your reality and your present, if every part in your present you're going to be in is pissed off and in a bad attitude, then your future is going to be exactly that. Why the media needs to change before we do? Well, it would help. The media, for my awakening, the media, that's why I don't always look at it. I still look at some things. I like looking at what's going on in Russia, because I think Vladimir Putin is in a bit of a no more, because he is a semi-elite. Like, he doesn't have $1 trillion in his bank account, but he is a person that wants to do good. And when I listen, even though I can't understand Russian, he seems genuine. He does. So the media needs to change, but some of us can break through. The media needs to change is because, just picture this, right? Have you ever gone through a stage that you've started hanging out with people that aren't good for you? You have to listen to what they say. You're subjected to that. That becomes your environment. That becomes your thoughts. The thing is, if everyone, especially in a different country, like, is getting bagged out, say, like Muslims, the media and the politicians don't know how to deal with it. It's all about, it's calling it Islamic State. It should be called something like retarded goat fuckers, something that, you know, they might get more pissed off and want to kill that reporter, but don't call it Islamic, and don't, like, not all Muslims, like, there's 1.5 billion Muslims in the world, and I'm sure they're not all pissed off, but living in Australia with all the bogans that are out there, because it's always the bogans that say Australia's about eating meat pies and, you know, getting tattoos and drinking beer and, you know, about, you know, doing whatever. It's like, these people are getting a hard time, and if they've come, I don't agree with the war in Iraq and Afghanistan, and I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that don't agree with them either. So just imagine the country's been blown up. You know, it used to be all right, but even though they've created these extremists, they're a little bit annoyed. They come out here and they get treated like shit. The women, because part of them is to cover up because they feel insecure when they're not. That's how, girls are girls and guys are guys because of how we're being brought up and how that culture is. If we brought up girls to act like blokes, they would act like blokes, but they act like girls. So therefore, the people that cover their face and feel strongly too, that's what they should do. So the media needs to change by doing good stuff. What should secret projects focus on? Secret projects should focus on stop weaponizing space. They should focus on maybe not getting into genetic mechanical engineering. Because they're a business, they should work about changing the mission statement, how they can change it to something else that is more productive and more moral and more sustainable. And to realise at the end of it, you get a holiday and no one gets to know you. What should the US, Russia and China do? Well, I think that the US and Russia and China should just, I think they're the key players. Let me just check to see if this is still recording. I just made a sound. Sorry about that, it's just wrecked the movie. I think Russia, China and the US are the major players, all right? Russia doesn't want war, China doesn't want war. The US, the people don't really want war, but there are people controlling in each country, I suppose, that are corrupt. They should start talking to the media and trying to show good things from those other countries. The people that work in like public relations and like, the people like that. We should work out that if we want to have a good future and we want to get a good outcome, that you've got to have something set in your mind that you're compassionate and you want something to work out. So I pray for you guys to work things out. I know you can do it. I've got a lot of respect for China. I think you're very smart and very polite, even though there's a lot of people and and everyone would say, you can't say this, so I had a bad time with this, but I've got a lot of respect for Russia and China and the US. I think in the US we could make people smarter and give them an education like China does. Who's going to take the glory by leading first? So getting in early, i.e. the big corps and big business. This is something that I think that these big corporations should focus on, leading by example and trying to be sustainable in a world that we're waking up, and that you just say for the oil industries, what's going to happen if India, like they were saying, they've got a free energy device, is going to put them bankrupt. So maybe the oil business, big pharma and other things should focus on about making us smarter, about bringing everyone up to speed and to a moral standard. And by obviously educating, if we could educate, spend money in education, and within that education, like the one that I wanted to do in the previous movie, that was primary school, high school, college, university, and one that other people could just go, make people smarter, and then we say, hey, we're a part of this schooling system, but we'll go to big business and say, hey, we'll think of a new mission statement or a new business plan, and we'll work it out for you. It will cost you so much dollars, and eventually this is what I want. It starts in Tasmania, goes into the rest of Australia, that goes into other countries. And each country, that the schooling system, when they go to, they're taking charge of, the plans for the big business. But the money goes towards, say, 20% of the money goes towards the local government in the area. So then it can, just help the people that's there. So the thing is, just say there's a quarter of the people in the world that are making money to be able to buy these products and spend it. If you focused on the whole lot and made it that you looked after the people, there's more money for you. How feeding, clothing the poor can help big business. Well, I think I just talked about that. And it's also the right thing to do. Big business, I suppose, they stress out when they look at people and they think if we get informed in what's going on about this and that, we'll wake up and they'll start crashing down. But we need to focus on that. The extraterrestrials want us to feed and clothe the poor and to get everyone up to a standard. They want us to stop showing bullshit on TV. They want people not to fantasize and want to be celebrities and have the paparazzi coming around to your door every day, and they would drive you insane. I don't want to be in the limelight. I'd rather be in the underground, working on this, connecting to ETs with my consciousness and what I want to do, for them to relay it onto their masters and their people, for them to come and help. So, will religion step up and write a new chapter, a new modern chapter? This is what we need to do. Each religion needs to do it. I was brought up in a Catholic school. So for me, even though I didn't really study that much of the Bible, what I think of Jesus is like probably better than what's in the Bible, because I think Jesus would be your true self doing the best you could do and morally the best. So each religion needs to write their own, and I would love to write something for Christianity. I'd love to be a part of that, but it seems that if you're a prophet these days, you've lost your marbles. So you're locked up in the psych ward. But they need to change that, and the Pope needs to come out. I've got a lot of respect for Buddhism and the Dalai Lama. I think that you're a very peaceful religion, and I like the quotes. And yeah, like we may have not been created by God, but our souls have been. So I suppose if there is a God, it's still better to be Buddhist and be a good person than it is to be someone from another religion and believe in a God in the sky and not be peaceful and kill people for it. Will the Pope disclose ETs, and how could that strengthen us plus the world? Okay. I think it would strengthen them after they start writing a new chapter. I'll move on to the next subject because what I think of Australia. Okay, I think Australia's great. You know, like we've got it really easy. In some places we're real racist. In some places we're real multicultural, and we've got a lot of people from, you know, we might have a lot of another race and people say that we're getting taken over. I don't think like that we're getting overtaken. I think it's great that we've got people from different countries. It makes them more interesting. We get to see more culture. Hopefully they set up a restaurant or some other thing and we get to benefit from it. The key is in Australia is we don't all talk to each other or want to get to know each other. We see a difference and we don't communicate. So I would love Australia to be more multicultural. I would like us to embrace the countries that we have in us, because we've got more than one from every country within us. So I think that we could strengthen the relations throughout Australia by doing that, and I've got a lot of high hopes for Australia. What I think of the US. Wow, like, you know, like you're the biggest, you know, yeah, you know, you've got a lot of smart people, but also at the same time, with the media that's probably out of your control, there are a lot of people that, you know, like, you're not as lucky as us in Australia. But, you know, if you want to be different, you want to stand out and you're smart, then you're going to make it in America. I don't necessarily agree with the politics and the all that sort of thing. But I do respect you, and you know, I've got a lot of friends from America, and they're really great people. But you know, I'm blessed that could come here instead of America, because I have been sick and it's too expensive over there. So I've got high hopes for you, and you know, you've got to educate. You've got to do something about mental illness. There are a lot of guns, and a lot of people have been shot. I personally wouldn't want a gun myself, but now I've got a daughter. No, that's just a joke. What do I think of Russia? Well, I've got a lot of respect for Vladimir Putin, and a lot of people might not like that, but I see him as being someone who's going to step up to this and say enough is enough, and hopefully he does the right thing, and hopefully the people of Russia, you know, everyone gets looked after, and at the end of the day, there's a very, you know, you've got a lot of land, and you know, the key is for everyone to be educated, and you know, you've got a lot of potential. It's a pity that you suffered the bankruptcy, and I still think that you're a high player in this, and the key is not to use nuclear warheads, but no one's going to mess with you. Please, if someone tries to do anything to make you want to retaliate, please don't. I'd really like that if you could disclose the ET presence and brief them on basically what I think and what you think I think and what I want to happen, plus what other people. China. Well, from the people that I've met that are Chinese have been very respectful, very smart and very intelligent. Over there you study quite a bit. That's something that all of our countries could focus on for the parts of China that do that. You're about to become a superpower if everything works out. The only criticism that I would like to say is with all that power and with all that money, that we've got to get the humanitarian sort of, you've got to look after everyone so everyone benefits from it. But if China did things how they were supposed to, and it didn't all go to the people that were the rich people and went to feeding and clothing and making, you know, everything like Hong Kong, then, you know, wow, you could really make something. Who are the people that are informative in the ET world? Dr. Stephen Greer. He is really informative. Don't believe the propaganda. He gave up a 500k job a year to do this. He might charge $3,000 for you to go out, but that's still not that much. And if I had $3,000 in my pocket, I would, because I would love to do a CE-5 with him and meet the ETs that he has, even though I have. Plus, he's someone that's going up against these big corporations. But I have learnt from Greer, and I'm someone that's wanting to help these big projects and help them out, whereas he's the opposite. So, but I think that's the way that we should go, because you can always learn something from another person and do your own spin and do something better. Stanton Friedman is a good guy. He's been on tour for a while. I don't really check his latest stuff because he's not really that in the loop, but he is a top guy, and we'll go into the facts. And Peter Maxwell Slattery from Australia, he is a really good guy and has made a lot of contact, and I wish him all the best, and hopefully that people don't come after him, because he's trying to disclose this and he's doing a good job and he's high up there, and the ETs visit him often, and yeah, I would love to be able to have a chat with him someday. And he's a very busy person, but you know, everything will work out in the end. The key is for us people that are into this is just all to come together and to talk about this and share your opinions, share your writing, and work out a master plan how we're going to influence people, how we're going to bring people together. If I could give my words of wisdom to the elite, secret projects, the oil and energy companies, what would it be? Well, the thing is, don't hate me. know that I am there and I have conveyed to the ETs that I want to help you, because, and then there's people that are listening from those and say, but I'm not bad, man, or I'm not, and but like people have got a lot of money that pulling the strings that you don't know about, and at the end of the day, when you work for these people, you're not going to do your own homework, because the security that people would be like, no. And for starters, if you're going to work for somewhere and you want to be passionate and you want to, you're not going to want to think otherwise anyway. So I think look after yourself in your future. Do writing, do what I've done, look up the people that I've looked up, like what Dr. Wayne Dyer studies CE-5. Try and make contact with these ETs. They will help you. You could be the worst person pulling the strings up the top. And if you listen to me and it sunk in, and you did CE-5 and you tried to connect and make contact, they would help you, because I want everyone to be recorrected, so the bad turn to good. For the people that can't show emotion, and to show emotion. For the people that need to cry for the things they've done wrong, to cry. Basically, for the people up the top, if they change, more so I think big business people within the business will change, like the Pepsi ad. Like maybe the person that owns Pepsi or the group of people didn't think of that project, Nikola Tesla, because he's got a lot of suppressed technology and how it's stolen away from him, and then about a satellite that's orbiting Earth that's been sending out a signal that's 13,000 years old, and for us all to come together, and ET saying that we need to make global peace and universal peace. People from these places are going to start waking up. I've noticed even within my friends and within people that people are just, things are going to be going slowly, but you've got to look after yourself. You've got to, you've got to make a change. And for the people that are here, do it for your boss. Do it for your boss's boss and your boss's 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 boss. And just write. Like, you're not going to get in trouble by looking up Dr. Wayne Dyer or Dr. Stephen Greer. You might get in trouble by looking up 9/11 conspiracies. But do a lot of writing, read a lot of books, practice meditation, try and make a contact and connect. And I wish you all the best. And we need you, because if we don't do it with you, I'm not going to be able to see it happen in my lifetime, with me being able to benefit from it. So that's not me being selfish, that's just me being realistic. And at the end of the day, if you changed as a person and you cried for all the things you did wrong, the ETs would see that and they'd probably get over it and say, well, I wanted to see this person cry, and now I've seen it, now they're doing some good. Let it be between them and God to what happens. But we can bring the whole universe together. We can bring all the universes together if we get our act together and we lead by example and we start doing things. First off is everyone that watches this